course, we play USC on. Our guys are excited about it. The one thing that I noticed, we're the only game on in America that night, so it's good exposure for us, and of course for USC. And they're an excellent football team, very talented. Offensive line is huge and athletic, and they've got I think Cody Kessler's an excellent quarterback who will play on Sundays. Defensively, they got a big front, and linebacking core is good, but their secondary to me is extremely athletic and very, very quick and can make a lot of plays. I'm glad there's only one Adoree Jackson because it seems like there's four of him. He's everywhere. He's an excellent player. We got to know where he is. When he comes in on offense, we got to know where he is. And he's also an excellent returner. So I'll take any questions from there.
The fact you guys are on ESPN and you're the only game, is there some pressure to have a good performance because you want to show up pretty well for recruits and things like that?
I think there's always pressure to have a good performance. I just think it's exciting for our kids to be able to play a night game at home on a Friday night. It's pretty exciting, and I hate that it conflicts with some of the high school, but a lot of the high school is done now too. There's some playoff games that are extremely important, but so there'll be a lot of high school kids all over the country watching it, which would be good for us also.
As a follow-up to that, what can it do recruiting-wise? The fact that you're the only team on.
Yeah, well, I think one thing you can show off our stadium. I think there'll be some stuff on there about our new facility, which would be great for us, and then of course, winning the football game helps a lot also.
Yesterday we joked about the weather, but seriously, do you know what the temperature is supposed to be at kickoff and what the forecast is?
No, I don't. I'll just show up in Tyler and have the correct stuff in my locker for me to put on, no matter what the weather is. I don't know what the weather is going to be. I don't. Do you ever know in Colorado what the weather's going to be? You could be a weatherman. We'd be 50-50. We'd be all right. I imagine it'd be a little cold being a night game, of course.
Because I think the last time they were here was their second coldest game ever in the history of their program.
Okay.
That's correct.
Would you like to see that happen again?
With it being, the Friday night blackout, it's senior night, it's Zim's last game calling. Does it feel like it's kind of all setting up for it to possibly be a historic ending for the seniors here at Folsom?
Well, I think it's there's a lot of exciting things going on. Anytime it's the seniors' last game, that's always special to our whole team, and especially those seniors. It's so true. All you can remember when you were in college and you blink. And you get there as a freshman, you think, oh, it's going to last forever. Your sophomore year, when's this ever going to end? And then it blinks, and then after you're out about 3 years, you wish you could go back, and the exam is tough compared to real life. And so I think that the guys have, the seniors are excited about it. Of course, their parents will be. It's kind of a bittersweet type moment. And then, the blackout's nice. And then, of course, for Zim's last game, that's extremely special for him and for Bridget and all their family, and of course for all the CU fans from years and years, and also former players. And when you turn on the radio next year, you won't hear his voice. And so I know that's going to be also tough. But I think it's great to honor him, and he deserves it. And I'm really glad he's here, because this time last year we weren't sure he was going to be here, and so I'm really excited that we're here and able to honor him, and he's able to be honored.
Coach, more on that same senior night, but I'm wondering if you could pick out 2 or 3 seniors that you'll be thinking about when all that is happening Friday night. Because a few weeks ago you talked about how you see a guy make a play, and what I see is the meetings that we had, or the things that he went through in his life.
Right.
Pick out a couple of seniors maybe that you might be really thinking about as all that's going on.
Well, it's hard just to pick out a few. I know what you're saying, but I think about all of them. Even the guys that haven't got to play a lot, Ed Caldwell and Vinny Arevia, and those guys that give everything they've got every day on the practice squad and show up with a big smile on their face and excited to be here. There's other guys that Finch, who fits into that category, and means so much to our program, but a lot of the fans then, of course, you've got the Nelson Spruces, all those guys, all the guys that play like each other. Each one has their own unique story. Each one has their own unique story out of their families. Definitely, senior night is big, but graduation in December and graduation in May really is even bigger. And so those young men are going to do that also, and that's exciting. And some of them already are graduating. Stefan Nimbot's story, I don't know if you won't ever have another story very similar to that ever. And his story is amazing. To see that and to see him be able to walk out there too.
Could you tell us a little bit about RBN and Commonwealth, since most people don't know about that?
Well, Ed and Arevia play on our offensive line, on our scout team. They back up on our some of our different special teams, and they're walk-ons that give everything they got and love the place. And both of them did internships this summer and worked out and then came back and paying their own way to school. And there's a lot of other guys on our team that do that, but they're two guys that the offensive line area to go out there and be the scout offensive lineman every day and be a backup on field goal and do some things there. And they travel with us, and they're the heart and soul. And offensive linemen are always the most unselfish people on the team, but I would say a scout team offensive lineman has got to be one of the most humble people. And they're both very bright. They both already have jobs set up. No doubt in my mind, I think they'll be extremely successful and do really well in life. And I think a lot of the qualities they learned in football to help them.
So last week, more of a run-first team. How does the defense change against a more pass-friendly offense?
Right. They do have a good passing attack, but since Coach Helton's come in, they're running the ball more. So the thing is they're very balanced. And to me, a balanced football team with a weapon they have at quarterback, with the speed they have outside, really, you got to be able to keep you a little bit off balance. And so they're good. The receivers are fast, athletic, quarterback. The thing that's neat about Cody Kessler, when you see him, you might think, well, he's not really. He can really get out of the pocket and is very accurate when he gets out of the pocket. So you got to be careful on how you pass rush him. You definitely got to rush him. You definitely got to hurry him. But he's able to make plays on the move and hit receivers downfield. The other thing, their receivers are very good run after catch, very athletic. That effect. So we're going to have to get up on them and have to do some different things. If you just sit in zone coverage, they'll pick you apart and they'll run it well. So you've got to do a lot of different things. They're a balanced offense. And again, I think their offensive line is really what makes it go. Their skill guys are great, but their offensive line is very big and very athletic.
Coach, does it get any easier watching your seniors graduate and kids that you've had for 4 years? You got to kind of let them go and move on to the next step of their life. Does that ever get easier for you, or is it always do to kind of watch them?
You're extremely happy for them. The other side of it, you feel a lot of love and concern for them, and you'd like to have them here, and you realize they're moving on to your life, and as far as that goes. So you have mixed emotions both ways, but you also know it's time to move on and let them go on and keep growing, and you hope that you've had an influence on them that makes a difference in their life. You really do.
Christian Powell, he's out the last 3 years, and before the season we talked about how much it would mean to him to do it 4 years in a row. As the season has gone on, his role has really changed, and he didn't carry the ball the other night. Can you talk about how he has adjusted that role and how he's really handled kind of being a blocking back now instead of a runner?
Yeah, Christian's done a very good job of that. He's doing a good job with his role. He's one of the guys on our leadership council. We have different things in different games. He's been able to carry the ball different times more. We've had different packages depending on what we thought was best to attack the opponent. Christian's a great young man and a guy that's meant a lot to this program and means a lot to our team.
Coach, obviously you guys have a sense of urgency every week, but now with 3 games left and needing 3 wins to be bowl eligible, are you noticing an extra sense of urgency in the players and maybe the seniors?
Well, there's a sense of urgency for us to make sure we get some more wins. There's no doubt. And I think also there's a sense of urgency by the seniors. I mean, you kind of understand, especially with our last home game being now, we get 2 on the road. Sometimes usually it's you got 1 game after that, or you have your last game here. So I think that's kind of gave a little bit more sense of urgency, I would say, in the sense of knowing this is their last home game, and here we go.
Coach, I know that Coach Mac Brown's doing the game for ESPN too.
Yes.
On Friday night. If I'm not mistaken, your father and he had a pretty good relationship or something, isn't it?
Yes, they did. Coach Brown and my dad know each other really well. Coach Brown's brother, Watson Brown, was the offensive coordinator for my dad at Vanderbilt. I've known the family for a long time, and I think the world of the Brown family, and they think the world of my dad, and then of course Mac Brown also, he played at Vanderbilt, and so there's and Watson played at Vanderbilt, so there was some ties. I don't know if Mac did. I know Watson did.
Back when it was big.
Yeah, and then but I think he might have been there. I don't know. But anyway, I'll get it all straight. But I know Coach Brown, and he's always been really, really nice to me throughout my career when I would see him on the road recruiting or at conventions or that type of thing. And I remember when he was at Appalachian State when he first started. I think it was his first head job was at App State, and my brother and my dad went up there and spent some time with him and showed him all around. But they were really close and have talked a lot through the years.
Coach, kind of a random question. It seems like every practice, Tyrone McKenzie and the outside linebackers are the last guys out there working. What has it meant to have Tyrone, a guy with kind of his pedigree as a grad assistant?
It's been great. Tyrone has been I wouldn't say a pleasant surprise. I really didn't know Tyrone that well. I knew who he was. Coach Levitt knew him really well. And so when we brought Tyrone in, he has done a phenomenal job. He's a great worker. He has a great rapport with the players. And, he has great experience, and of course, in college and in the NFL. And but he's been a real worker and done a great job with the young men. And I'm very glad that he's on our staff.
You've talked about the athleticism that USC possesses. Obviously, it just puts more pressure on, I guess, open field tackling and things like that. But how do you counteract a team that has so many high-level athletes? You may not see that every week.
Right. No. They have the most we've seen. They've had the most we've seen every year. You have to be able to tackle in space. The thing you have to do is on defense, you have to anticipate a little bit more. You have to kind of recognize the sets and anticipate what they're going to do. They got certain guys that you better get down close to, because if they get the ball in space, it's hard to get them. And then the other thing you do is you hear coaches say this all the time, and it's a true, you have to run to the football like crazy. Because if they make them miss, at least you can get the guy cutting back and the next guy could be there. So the effort there, in that case, we'll play a few more guys to keep us fresher if we get, and then that way there's more guys getting to the football. So we've worked on that. And then you just got to play sound. If you're outside leverage and you're supposed to be inside leverage, you could be in trouble. So you have to be really exact. And our guys are getting better at that on defense. We're having less and less of those type of just mistakes, and which is helping us some. And we got to make sure we're on our P's and Q's this week.
The one team that really shut them down was Washington. They seemed to really come out with an attacking defense.
Right.
Are there things from that Washington game that you think they replicate this week?
Yeah, Washington played really well. Washington's been playing excellent on defense all year, and they were good on defense last year. Their outside linebackers, don't know their names. I just know 42 and 41. They're long and athletic. They make a lot of plays on film. They've changed since that game. Southern Cal's kind of changed their offense a little bit, and so I think that I know they've done a little bit more running attack, a little bit more of that type of thing, and I think that's helped them a little bit on offense. They weren't spread out as much as they were in that game.
Coach, forgive me if I'm not knowing this, but have you ever been an interim head coach? And if so, what's it like to be an interim head coach?
No, I've never been around an interim head coach. I've never been one, and I've never been around it in 25 26 years of coaching, so I don't know how that is. How it works out is, I know Coach Helton's doing an excellent job, and I think he did it before also, for the bowl game a couple of years ago. And so he's doing a good job at it and understands it, and organization of everything is the key of that.
Anything else for Coach Mac? Thank you.
All right, thank you.